Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Thiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, Channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you so much for watching and listening every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, and definitely appreciate that. No, you could be doing anything else, but you're watching us, and we definitely, like again, I'll say it again, definitely appreciate you spending time with us. We're going to be talking today about making decisions and making decisions. Should you make decisions based on what you're feeling right now, or should you make decisions based on logic? I mean, how should we do it? And a lot of this plays into how we deal with people. I know people seem to be changing. And I really love to listen to Dave Ramsey. I think he is just so funny, and he's awesome, and he's also I like his approach into getting points across. So I've got one right here, and this pertains to families. It also pertains to business as well. So I'm sure you'll get a kick out of it. Let's see what you think.
You ever get in a room full of stupid people? Like, you're at Thanksgiving dinner, and your relatives are all saying something that's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, really stupid. Or you're with some people at a party and you realize you're at the wrong party and some of these people are just saying moronic things. And you realize there's not anything to say, because if you say something to them, it's not going to do any good, because they've already made up their mind to live neck deep in the stupidity. You know what I'm talking about. So I got a friend of mine says when he gets in one of those situations with a group of his relatives, he just says, like his in-laws, right? He just says, I just assume the bobblehead doll. I just sit there and nod and smile and nod and smile and nod and smile. Like, those bobblehead dolls, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And he said, there's no sense in arguing with them, so you might as well bobblehead doll. So I do not have the sound on because I'm doing a radio show. But we keep several of the news feeds running in here in case something breaks. And because I'm ADD and it gives me something else to look at while I'm doing the show. So I'm watching one of these news feeds of this Senate confirmation of the Supreme Court justice, right? And you can tell that a bunch of these politicians are just, they need to be seen, they need to be heard, they need to make their ridiculous statement, and they're reading off these horrid, just stupid crap. These people. And the poor guy, I mean, whether you agree with him or not, he is holding his composure. Whether you like all this stuff or not, he's just sitting, he's pretty much bobblehead dolling his way through the stupid senators that are parading in front of him. I mean, it's just, bless his heart. I just thought, there's a bobblehead. And he really has composure, because I probably would just go all hillbilly on the morons. But he's just sitting there nodding his head going, you people are idiots. And he's just going to nod his head yeah. He's really got composure, so maybe that's what it takes to be a Supreme Court justice, because they wouldn't let me be one. I'd start a war or something, but I'm not sure that the Supreme Court has the ability to do that. But if I was there, we could figure it out. So, man, I don't have the composure to put up with those idiots in Washington. They called me up to testify on something they were doing up there, and I said, you don't really want my opinion. You just want to say I was here. You just want to say, Dave Ramsey said so-and-so about money. That's all you want. You don't really want to know what I think, because you already know what I think, and none of you people are going to do it. Like, control your freaking spending. It's not going to happen. So I would be up there bobblehead dolling, and I'm not very good at that. So bless this guy's heart. I'm going to have to turn this off. It's distracting.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
I thought since I was using his stuff, I'd let him go ahead and put this disclaimer in there as well. But yeah, I really did like his approach. And this really does make a lot of sense what he says. But let's talk about how to make an emotionally tough decision. We're all having to do that right now. The economy has just been really strange. COVID hit, and I just tell you what, everything has just been topsy-turvy since then. I had a weird election, and so we have a president that I have to wonder about. And, you're afraid to make decisions. Simple things like, should I buy a car now? Or do I need to wait? I know a lot of people are actually making the decision to have kids later. They're afraid to have kids right now. So again, you got to make the best of possible decision. You want to make a wise decision. So one thing Phil and I do, I'll never know it all. I mean, never, because there's too much to know, and times change too much. But if you'll do a study in the book of Proverbs, every single morning we listen to a verse, and we have an in-depth study about that as well. But anyway, that'll help a lot right there as well. Okay, so let's talk about how to make a tough decision. A lot of times you don't make the decision because you're afraid it's going to be the wrong one. Spouse may blame you the rest of our lives, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever could blame you. So let's talk about this. This comes from reachingself.com. reachingself.com. Okay, I recently had to make a hard decision. As much as I knew I had to make the decision, I didn't want to. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to, but I did it. It was actually the hardest decision I've ever had to make. Even as anxious, non-confrontational person who doesn't like making decisions and sometimes tends to avoid facing problems, I still did it. Now I'm happier. Now, the hard decision I had to make was leaving a relationship that was creating unhappiness in my life. And it wasn't in alignment with my values and my future. The following tips on how to make a hard decision can apply not only to breakups, but leaving a job, ending a friendship, moving away, or any painful, uncomfortable, or scary change that we may have to make for the better. So this is how it was done. Number one, think about future you. I know we have to look out after others. We have to think about, is this decision, is it going to have a profound effect on my family? Is it going to have an effect on my church life? Is it going to have an effect on my husband, my wife, my kids, whatever? But sometimes you got to put a little bit of you in there, okay? Because when it all boils down to it, you're responsible, okay? I'm responsible. So I want you to think about the future you have right now. Is this the one that you want it to be? Is it the ideal, happier, wiser, improved you? What would they want you to do? Now, doing this can help prevent mistakes, regrets, and not acting sooner than later. Thinking about future me is what helps me the most in making the hard decision. So the author goes on to say, I knew that not making the decision would be more comfortable for me now, but worse for me in the long run. Got to think about it now or later. If you're going to wind up having to do it anyway, why don't we just go ahead and do it now? Ooh, I just answered a question for my own self. Hard decisions give us better futures, even if it doesn't seem like it. Now, if we are faced with a hard decision, it often comes with unhappiness and a need for change. Many of us are scared of change, so we stay comfortable yet unhappy or unfulfilled. So with risk and hard decisions, there is opportunity, freedom, and growth. And he says, I am proud and happy. That past made me think about me in the now. Number two is understand that intense pain now is better than less intense, enduring pain. With a hard decision comes pain and discomfort. Either way, there will be pain. We can either face the immense sharp pain of ripping the Band-Aid off or allow a dull pain of infection and disease growing, causing greater and lasting harm to ourselves. Now, doing what's hard makes life easier. Doing what's easy makes life harder. Does that make sense? It does. So making the decision for me was hard, awkward, uncomfortable, and incredibly painful. But I faced it. So when it comes to making the hard decision or doing nothing, you have two choices. You can make a difficult decision and experience an enormous amount of pain right now in the future, or anxiety, loneliness, uncertainty, and discomfort. You can accept and face that pain sooner than later for a better future, or you can make the easy, comfortable choice and do nothing and deal with the less intense, long-term, enduring, regretful pain. Keep in mind you will experience pain in either situation. The type of pain you feel is your choice. I never thought about it that way. So the type of pain you choose is going to make you or break you. Number three, place more importance on your values over your feelings. Oh boy, that hurts. So these values should, of course, include yourself. Valuing your needs, wants yourself, and what's important to you and will make you happy. A lot of times we sacrifice our happiness and don't love ourselves enough because of easier, safer, and it's more comfortable. Besides valuing yourself, you should be clear on your values, goals, and what you want out of your life. If something is not aligned with your values, change should be made in that aspect. Oftentimes, what we want now or what we think we want is not always best for us. Our feelings can make us want to make the easy decision. Now, your ability and willingness to experience difficult emotions directly correlates to your success and your happiness. So it's important to remind ourselves that feelings and emotions are temporary and often fleeting, especially intense ones. What's more important is overall life satisfaction and happiness. Pain and fear can be a good thing, but our lizard brain, which hasn't evolved to recognize this, makes us think we should avoid it to survive. Our rational brain knows better. Don't we do that? Number 4, let's go ahead and do this one, then we'll go into a break. Know that doing nothing is a decision too. Yeah, I've seen people mess up marriages because they didn't make the decision they should have made, maybe for their spouse. And guess what, men? Women are always going to remember what you didn't do as much as what you did do. So it's an easy choice to do nothing, and it's a costly choice, and you will pay for it, either now or later. The longer you let it drag, the worse it's going to be. When you don't act, you're choosing to not act. You are making that choice. Everything you do or don't do in your life is a choice. Now, some people are passive and let life happen to them. That's a choice. Others take control and initiative in creating their life, making decisions and taking risks that better their lives. Making hard decisions gives you power that nothing else can. You got the power right there, okay? It's in you. Over time, you'll find there are trends in your life. These trends are based on what is going on in your life now. Trends continue unless there's a change which reverses the trend. This goes for everything in your life. Your relationships, your career, your health. Things are either going in an upward positive or a downward negative trend. They will continue to go in the trend they are going in unless there is change. Let's go to a commercial break. We're going to be right back with number 5. So you hang in there.
You've been at this for 12 years. Why are you doing it?
Because God's children are not for sale.
Rated PG-13.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. Okay, friends, we are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. So we are talking about some really neat decision-making tools right here. And yeah, you need tools. You know, when you're working, I'm a metal worker. I've got to have the right tools to make a piece of art, right? I've got to have the right cutters, I've got to have the right grinder, I've got to have the right, everything is a tool and it has to be the right one and it has to be used a particular way. I also have to hone those tools. Sometimes I may have to sharpen something. You know, that's just all part of it as well. So I found an article, I thought it was really neat, and the website, you can find it, reachingself.com. reachingself.com, how to make an emotionally tough decision. So we talked about thinking about future you. What are you going to be like in 5 years? You need to think about that. Number 2, understand that intense pain now is better than less intense enduring pain. Yeah, let's just get that. Go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off right now and get it over with. Otherwise, it's going to be long and enduring. Number 3, place more importance on your values over your feelings. We talked about that. Number 4 was know that doing nothing is a decision too. Now, the guys and gals, we always got to remember this, okay? So it's not necessarily what you do. Sometimes it's what you didn't do. There was no country song out about that several years ago. It's not what I did, it's what I didn't do. Yeah, that's true. Okay, number 5, let's get with it. Consider that waiting to make a decision is a waste of time. It's called the procrastinator. The procrastinator is just, well, it'll get easier if I just kind of delay it just a little bit. So let's say why this is important. If you need to make a hard decision, chances are that you already know the decision you want to make. You're just putting it off. The problem is that you don't want to make it. What really pushed me to action was thinking about how I was just wasting time waiting for the decision to be made. We all do that. We'll do that in family situations. We'll do it in our business decisions. We do it in church decisions. We do that all the time. You're just delaying it. So what really pushed me to action was thinking about how I was just wasting time waiting for the decision to be made. So the sooner I made the decision, the sooner I could be closer to the life I wanted to live. When you're waiting to make a decision, you're just kind of stuck out there in limbo. You're just passing, the wind is blowing you any which way. I mean, it may blow you into a building, so you have to be really careful. That's why I like to go ahead and make decisions fast. Your mind is thinking about the future, but you're physically stuck in the past. Now, your actions are not in alignment with your values, so the fear of regret and wasting time should be stronger than the fear and pain of making a difficult decision. Remember that you create change in your life. There is always a chance for a better future. Let's think about that. Let's start doing that from now on. Number 6. By the way, this is on the website reachingself.com. Reaching, like I'm reaching for a goal. Myself.com. Number 6, think about the immense growth that will come from making this decision. When thinking about the decision I had to make, says the author here, sometimes I would wish that I could just have someone do it for me, or somehow magically it could just happen. Then I realized what a waste that would be. I realized that I could use this for immense growth and personal power in taking control of my life and future. This was my decision to make, and there was so much power in that. It would be me doing something for myself and creating my life and future. As much as I hated it, it made me want to make the decision and embrace the pain and hardship from it. Just get her over with. It made me appreciate the freedom I have and the ability to make this decision. Others have it much harder than me to make the same or similar decisions. So take power in making your decision and embrace the freedom in your ability to make it. I'm telling you, folks, it gives you power like you've never had. And always ask God, okay, which direction should I go in? You'll find it. Number 7, make a plan. This is where we mess up too. I'm just going to go out and do it. No, you got to have a plan. You got to know where you're going. Sometimes a hard decision involves a lot of small steps towards that decision or doing some things that will make that decision easier. My deal is I never want to plan for anything. I think sometimes I'm thinking that's a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. I'm telling you, you've got to plan. A lot of times there are obstacles in the way of the decision that have to be cleared. You got to get rid of some stuff. Make a list of things that need to be done to get you closer to making that decision. These things should be done urgent and top priority. Don't waste time and wait around for them to get done. It will only set you back further. Make sure these are things that you have control in taking care of, so they don't just become excuses that only stall your decision. Now, making a plan and following small steps puts things into emotion. All right, let's set a deadline. This is number 8. It's another thing we do. We come up with these plans and all this kind of stuff, but we don't sound like I've got to have it done in so many days, or I've got to have it done like in 5 years, or I've got to have it done whenever. So let's set a deadline. Setting a deadline puts the decision into stone. It makes it real. You've mentally made your decision. Now it's time to follow through with it. Now, when setting a deadline, set an actual date. This is part of the plan. The more details, the more clear the picture of your decision, the better. Just make sure you don't push the deadline unless it's absolutely necessary. And don't make the deadline too far out either. Remember, tip number 5. Remember what number 5 was? Number 5 was consider that waiting to make a decision is a waste of time. Okay, so we talked about setting a deadline. Now, number 9, tell others. I can just about imagine what this means. Sometimes telling others about the decision you plan to make can help with accountability. And that's true. It forced me to follow through with my decision and not fall back on the fear or comfort trap. Making a hard decision can feel very isolating. It's also helpful to have a support group which can help you to reduce anxiety and make you realize that you're not alone in what you're going through. Everyone has experiences of having to make a hard decision at one point in their life. A lot of us, it's a lot of times. Listening to others' experiences on a decision, that's what you call seeking counsel, someone who's successful, and how did they make it happen? So listening to others' experiences on a decision I had never made before, but they had helped solidify my need for action. So just talking to others about the decision can significantly help with an emotional pain of making the decision. Having an outside opinion can also be useful if you're having trouble making sure it's the right decision. How many times we second guess ourselves? You know what? I found when I go with my gut feeling, like we had this moron, he was over here at our house working on the house. I just had this weird feeling about this guy. He claimed to be a minister, all this kind of, said all the right things, but it was too much of saying all the right things. And it just, I don't know, it was just weird. Then he made a pass at me. Then later he made a pass at one of my friends. We fired him. We got him out of here. So anyway, if it doesn't feel right, there's a reason for it. Number 10, make a commitment to yourself. You got to do it. This is especially important if you want to keep your decision to yourself until you make it. When we make a commitment to others, we're more likely to follow through because we don't want to disappoint them. But when it comes to commitments to ourselves, a lot of us can be a little more lenient. Don't let this happen. So the author says, I made a commitment to myself that I was following through with no matter what. No matter how scared I was, no matter how guilty I felt, no matter how painful it got, I wasn't going to let myself talk me out of it. I wasn't going to let myself backtrack. When I finally took the action on that decision, I faced a completely unexpected outcome that made it even harder to follow through and was given the easy opportunity to backtrack my decision. Even then, I still stayed strongly with the commitment I had made to myself. So this is what the author says, reachingself.com, reachingself.com. He says, I want you to make a commitment, and I'm saying this too, okay? So we're all in this together, okay? I want you to make a commitment to yourself that on your deadline, you're taking action and following through with your decision. Don't neglect future you and keep them in mind. They will thank you later. Now take action and make that hard decision. I believe in you. You're strong. Future you is counting on you now. You can do this. If I could do it, so can you. I've done that a few times. I actually have. And it also works. I think sometimes we're afraid we're going to make a bad decision. Maybe we've made some bad decisions in the past. And that happens. A lot of folks got married the first time. They just wanted to get out of the house. Maybe the parents were weird or something like that. A lot of us have made that decision. But you can't hate the person you were married to. You can't do that. That's just going to ruin you. It's going to ruin you up here. Okay, you got to be a forgiving person. Let it go and make decisions. That's what you have to do. You got a crazy family member? I got one. It's just she's always on my heels. I mean, just always. She lies. I mean, she tests that stuff off. She's just about managed to turn an entire town against me. But you know what? I can't give up. I got to keep going. I mean, I just have to. You know why? Because I love my husband. I love my son. I love my daughter-in-law. And I love them so much to the extent that I want to be successful. That's it in a nutshell. I want to be the best I could possibly be. Ignore the naysayers. I don't care how religious they act. Ignore them and go on with your life. They're going to talk anyway, right? They are, and they always are. Okay, again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Age. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Again, thank you so much for watching.